I get questions all the time about solo travel and solo experiences. And so I'm going to tell you why it is the best thing that you could ever do for yourself. So, I just launched a brand called Living Solo, and essentially it's encouraging women and anyone who could relate to the content to travel on their own. And a lot of people are like, where do I begin? How do I start? Like, what do I do? And I encourage you, like, if you feel like you don't like spending time on your own, I highly recommend starting small. So I actually have homework for you. If you are someone who doesn't enjoy being on your own or spending time on your own, my homework for you is to dedicate one day or night per week where you go out on your own. Whether that is a hike, a dinner, just going on a nature walk, just walking your neighborhood. Like, it's so important to just get comfortable with being on your own. That's step number one. Step number two is once you are comfortable, and it takes time. I'm not going to lie. Like, whenever I travel, it always takes me at least a day or two to adjust to just being on my own. And it's uncomfortable, not going to lie. Like, it's rare when immediately I'm just like, yes, like, we're doing this, right? So I recommend getting comfortable with being alone and pushing outside of that comfort zone and leaning into it. Then after you do that, try to book a trip domestically. So like within the United States or wherever you are, book somewhere that it's not like a 10-hour flight to get home, I also highly recommend checking out Facebook groups. Facebook groups are a great way to connect with other solo travelers or just do research on the space. Like, is it safe? What neighborhoods are best? What restaurants do they recommend? Is it safe for solo travelers? So those questions can get answered in a Facebook group. Something I love specifically, and especially when I am solo travel, is leveraging Airbnb experiences. Now, I talk about this so much, but it's like because I believe that is the best activity or thing you can do when you are traveling alone. I really like Airbnb experiences because it gets you out of your comfort zone. Not only with the activity, like for example, I've gone hot air ballooning. I also went to, when I was in Mexico City, to Tolontongo, and I'm such a water girl. I'm a Cancer. It was amazing to see the hot springs and the waterfalls. That was so much fun. I made some friends there. And I actually did this activity when I was in Mexico City where I went on a hot air balloon, and I met some girls who are actually from Los Angeles, or not from Los Angeles, but they lived in Los Angeles as well. And we're still friends to this day. And it's like, if I didn't go on that Airbnb experience, I wouldn't have met them. And they put on great events, beautiful events. We're just aligned in so many ways. And so that's another example of why going out on your own allows you to expand your network. Another way that you can meet people is hostels. So I don't personally like to stay in hostels. However, I think it can be used as a resource to find out different tours and activities that are going there. And often solo travelers do stay in hostels because it is more affordable and just more of a transient space to so. So highly recommend hostels. I think hostels are a great way to meet people, whether you decide to stay or not. And then my favorite feature, so Google Flights, definitely use Google Flights when you're looking for flights because I feel like the deals are very, very good, and Google Maps. So when you're on Wi-Fi, before you leave your trip, download the map of the area you're staying in. So like if you're going to Indonesia and you're going to Bali, download all of Bali, because nothing's worse than being stranded and not having Wi-Fi, not being able to get out. So that's a safety tip for solo travelers. Be sure to download the maps of the location that you're in, because that's just the worst feeling, to be stranded. I've been stranded. I was in Italy one time, and I was going from Naples to Florence, and I think I asked someone, or I confirmed with someone that I was going in the right direction. They're like, yeah. But like, I think they misunderstood me, so I went the wrong way. Anyway, I was stranded on this random deserted train stop. I didn't know Italian. My phone was on 1%. And I was like, God, this is not how my life is going to end at all. And by the grace of God, no lie, I saw tumbleweed. Like, I was just like, wait, this isn't happening. This is not how I'm supposed to die. But by the grace of God, you know, the conductor came back. Someone came and tried to help me and figure things out. And I just loved that I was able to partner with people to figure out how to get to where I was going. And so solo travel also allows you to build your confidence in yourself. Like, you understand how capable you are when you travel alone, because you only depend on yourself. And you get to do whatever you want to do all day long. Like, I think sometimes you may go on a trip with a friend or family members. And, like, not gonna lie, I do love traveling with my family and friends. It's always a good time. But also, when you travel alone, you don't have to, like, explain something. I remember I did a resort pass in Los Angeles, and I was at this rooftop pool, and I was reading my book. And the husband, there was a couple next to me, and the husband goes, "Are we doing this all day?" And she was like, "Yeah, why?" And he was like, "I think this is going to be boring. Like, I feel like we need another activity." And I was just like, I'm so happy that is not me. I can literally sit here and sleep and read and, you know, just do nothing all day or do everything, you know? And so I feel like everyone should experience traveling alone once, because once you get that little taste of freedom of doing whatever you want all day and every day, you're like, why am I waiting for someone to do this thing? I could just do it on my own. And, like, the confidence that is instilled in you is amazing. Another reason why I love solo travel is because you get to meet people. I feel like people are more comfortable coming up to me when I'm alone rather than when I'm with a friend or family. And this has been proven many times. Like, I've made so many friends. People have, you know, open up their homes and be like, "Oh yeah, you can come over to this housewarming or whatever." And I'm like, I'm a stranger, but I feel like too, when your energy is open and genuine, you attract that back. Like, people can tell that you are open and you are excited to just be in the space, and then they want to open up their space to you. And so I highly recommend also making sure that you are good inside and that you are attracting the right people, because honestly, if you do the work internally, which that is my whole premise behind living solo, and solo is spelled SOULO, by the way. When you do the work to ensure that you are good within, trust me, you attract so much opportunities, new friends. Learning the language is also a great way to connect with locals, which I highly recommend. I think I'm going to start doing that a little more often than I did or have been doing in the past, because honestly, just that language barrier makes it really hard to connect. And once you're able to connect, you're just like, wow, I want to stay here. I love these people and love this experience and love this culture. And so all in all, I could talk forever about solo travel. I just really hope that you feel inspired by this video. I know it's very long, but feel very inspired through this to just start small. Like I said, dedicate one day per week to do something on your own, whether it's a hike, restaurant, coffee shop, whatever it is, and then expand from there. And like I said, as someone who has traveled alone many, many times, I travel solo so often, the first few days get tough. Sometimes eating alone is not fun. And so I encourage you to sit at the bar or sit somewhere where you are in a space where people can come and meet you, or do a cooking class. I've met some amazing people in cooking classes. Anyway, if you are looking for any more solo travel tips or solo experiences, or just how to get started and just suggestions on what you should do as a new solo traveler, do not hesitate to reach out. Reach me in my DMs or an email at asiabrown@livingsolo.com. Solo is spelled with a U in it. And I am more than happy to answer your question. I truly feel like the more people that are comfortable solo travel will make the world a better place. So if I can help you with that, let me know.